I love this woman already because she has a sense of humor. Lynaae is actually in real estate, and you are actually on Vegas Live with Ninon. I'm Ninon, your host. We're down here at the Peppermill Lounge, which is fabulous. The colors are still here, and this is really, truly, this is like old Vegas. It's gorgeous. I don't think Lynaae knows, but we're sitting actually in the Elvis Presley booth. So you could be sitting where he was sitting.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, isn't that incredible?
The king.
So the king is here.
Ah.
He's sitting around. He's watching us somewhere.
Well, I've got plenty of people helping me out in that way, too.
Yeah, there you are. There you go. Well, Lynaae, how are you?
I'm fine.
Now, we've got a little different. We're changing things up a little bit. We're at now actually in the real estate business.
Yeah, but I'm no ordinary real estate business agent.
Well, she doesn't know, but I've been in the real estate business.
do.
So you do know. How do you know? Oh, she's been doing her research.
I do my research.
No.
Come on. I'm a real estate agent.
Well, I'm not. I'm a private investor. I don't have one single license.
That you don't have to when you're an investor.
No, I'm an investor.
And it's actually advised that you don't do that.
Well, that's my husband actually. He was the one that taught. My husband taught me every single thing about real estate. Absolutely amazing. He passed away, unfortunately, but he taught me everything. So whatever I know about real estate is really him.
Okay.
Because he was fabulous. So how is now? You have your own business.
I have my own office. It's called Forbes Realty Group.
Forbes. That's your last. Her last name is Forbes.
Yes, the famous last
The
name.
famous Forbes.
No relationship to the magazine.
And why not?
Because I don't have to be.
No, I love that. Oh, you see? This woman's her own woman. So you're not relying on anybody else at all but what you do.
Oh, no. And you know that millionaires have 7 streams of income, right? So I don't have just one office.
No.
I
So
have 2.
You have 2 offices.
You're going to love this next one, though.
Oh, God. I think I'm in for it. All right.
It's called Hanging with the Forbes.
Hanging with the Forbes. Now,
A relationship with benefits.
A relationship with benefits of...
Well, if you're a licensee and
Yes.
you have retired, relocated, just got into the business, decided to take time out, go get it, what most people refer to as a real job.
Whatever a real job is these days.
Yeah.
I don't know what a real
This is
job
a place,
is anymore.
yeah, they place their license in the hanging service,
Yes.
and they don't have to pay the MLS, and they are not a realtor.
Oh, this sounds exciting.
It is, actually.
Yeah, I'm now getting very interested.
Yeah,
you got me.
Why? This is
you
why.
You hooked me in.
Yes, I did.
See,
See that's why I call it.
She knew she was going to do that.
I'm good at that. So that's the reason why we call it a relationship with benefits, because it's your relationships as a real estate agent.
Yes.
And you bring them over, and we take care of them over here at Forbes Realty Group and give you a referral fee. So you get paid.
So you get paid. So if I refer anything to you, but I'm not a realtor, so I can't do that. I've just still got to stay totally.
And there's a big difference.
Oh, big
There's
difference.
a big realtor and a real estate agent.
Yes.
Everyone's a real estate agent.
Yes.
A realtor is a membership.
It's just a membership. So could I become a realtor?
If you became a real estate agent.
But I have to be a real estate agent.
Yes.
Well, that's going to be a no-no.
She's an
right
investor.
Away. Right, just stay where I am.
Just stay where you're at.
Yeah, stay where I'm at. Because you need people like me.
I do.
Oh, so how much... This is interesting even more. So how much do you need me?
Oh, well, here's what I think that would be interesting. I've actually inquired in having Keith do something very different.
Okay.
In the first
Did
week,
we talk about Keith, my marketing guy?
Yeah, Keith.
Well, Keith,
Kramer.
you might not be here, but you are being talked about.
Yes, that's good. So here's what most people.
What have you come up with, Keith? While you two were sitting there, and I was interviewing someone else.
Oh, yeah, we were coming up with things. But that said, I am going to be on HGTV the first week of May.
Okay.
On Flip or Flop Vegas with Aubrey and her husband.
Okay.
We're going to do a reveal.
Okay.
My goal is by the time we get there, we're going to have a big network show type of thing set up for that.
Okay.
To do my show.
Okay.
Which is called Taking the Flip Out of Real Estate.
Taking the flip out of the real estate. And she might know, but I had a show called Maxed Out Money Hour.
Yeah.
And the reason I had Maxed Out Money Hour, because this was I'm going to say 2012, when everybody was kind of maxed out of money. Nobody had money, nobody had anything, nobody had real estate. Everybody lost everything. I don't know where it all went, but I know it made a lot of people very rich. No, because it never went.
I know.
People misunderstand that.
It
went. It didn't. It never went anywhere.
If you never had the money, you never had it.
Well, the money was just dispersed in other places, and you have to remember that and you know this, in 2004, 5, and 6, you could buy a house with no money down.
Yeah, we called those ninja loans.
Angel loans?
Ninja.
Oh, ninja. Yeah, there were definitely ninja loans for sure. But the thing is that once you didn't put anything down, you had nothing. So nothing from nothing is nothing. So if they walked out of this house, it meant nothing.
And that's what they did.
Exactly.
And a lot of people didn't understand. And that's what I got to work in the industry for a while, in what we called the lending industry.
Yeah.
I actually went out and signed a lot of those people who use their homes as banks. They get all these credit card bills, and they go out and they do it again and again. And again. And those people were the actual start of the fall of, and they were what we call the subprime, and basically went right down to the prime.
Yeah. Well, I hate to say, you are right in one way, but this was all organized. The whole thing was organized through the banks.
Yes, the banks were actually partially at
fault. It was all started from the banks to make money, and which they all did. And
and that's the end of that story.
Yeah, we don't want because bad stories they're gone. We always. Funny how we always survive.
Yes, we
get
do.
out of it and we move forward and we find other ways to do things.
Yep.
So what is the greatest secret right now as of buying or going into real estate? Where are we at?
Well, with my little program called Taking the Flip out of real estate, we hear about flippers buying all those properties to flip them.
But they don't like them anymore.
Well, but they're still doing them.
Yeah.
Okay? What we do is we take the flipper and throw them out of the room.
Okay.
And my office...
So you flip them.
we flip them out.
They're flipped.
They're gone. So our office then goes in and we pay to have the work done on behalf of the seller.
Okay.
And at the closing, the seller pays us back.
Oh.
Let me give you an example of what I just did.
That's pretty cool.
Okay.
I know what you did, but
why
explain.
is it great? Because we took what would have been what we call a wholesale property at $200,000.
Yes.
We put $6,000 into it. We put it on the market for $210,000. We had 85 showings, 26 offers, and we got it over market by we got $228,000 for that house.
228. So if you buy a house for 200,000, you get 28. But you've already put 6,000 into it.
But the client walked away with an additional $15,000 because of what we did for them.
Because of what you did for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, because think about this: is that small market where the flippers don't want to be in. It's too thin.
Okay.
It's ideal for my type of thing, what I'm
doing.
doing.
So you actually buy the house. Well, you don't even buy the house. So you I know how this works. This is really neat.
Isn't
that
it?
Is so
it's
neat.
Taking care of the seller. Isn't it a nice change?
So what you do is the seller, you list the house.
Yes.
And then you put 6,000 into it, but you haven't really bought the house.
No.
It isn't your house.
No.
But then you sell it.
Yep.
So you've got your brokerage fees or your real estate fees.
Yes.
And then you also get money back.
The $6,000 plus a little bit of interest.
Plus you get some interest of the money they put out there, and then the seller gets what they want.
And the seller now gained.
The gain. Well,
and they become the flipper. That's why we call it taking the flip out of real estate.
Isn't that? I love how this. So you found a way. Look how cheeky she is. Look at her. She's so excited what she did. And I admire it because of real estate.
But it takes care of them, not the flipper.
Well, no,
it's not about
wait
me.
a second. No, wait a second. No, it is. Because it's about all of you.
I know.
Don't forget it's about everybody.
But it's a win-win for everybody.
Without you, it doesn't happen.
That's true.
And without them, it doesn't happen.
That's true.
And then without the buyer. So you've got three people involved. Which you've got the broker, you've got the owner, and you've got the buyer.
And this is why I had to open up my own office, because I couldn't do it as an agent. Because my broker would have had to give me permission to do it, and they weren't going to do that because it's a liability issue.
Well, no, they won't ever do anything anyway. I mean, I know all about that side of the world very, 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 very much. And the greatest thing being a private investor, which is really quite amusing, they think I never use them. Well, I have to use somebody because they're going to sell it. Then I have to use somebody that's going to buy it. So I've got to use some of the brokers out there. So it's not that I'm dismissing them.
No.
I'm just buying it and selling it myself. But I need people like you and everybody else to buy and sell it. Actually, I'm just buying some, I just bought a piece of land. We nearly bought it. Right, Sid? I know Sid's watching. Sid Chase, I know. Sydney Chase, I know you're watching. I'm just about to buy a piece of land in South Carolina, and we're going through it and everything else. So, and he actually was on Sydney was on my program, right, Sid? He was on my program, Maxed Out Money, and that's how I met him.
Oh, good.
Through Maxed Out Money. So what goes around comes around. So
and that's why I was really excited to be back on your show, because when I knew that you're educated about real estate.
Very much so. Oh yeah.
It really makes a difference because it's a process, and so I always ask people: so do you want the vomit system or do you want the step by step?
Yeah, well, I like it all.
Yeah, but
I
see,
wanna
you
know it all.
understand it.
I understand real estate.
But most people get overwhelmed.
I probably should know. I'm not in it as much as I used to be, but Sydney is bringing me back into it. And I really like it, but I do very well at it because I know what it is.
Yeah.
But what I always do, I always leave enough for the buyer or the seller. There always is enough room in there for them to make money as well. So if they're buying something from me, there's enough room in there to sell it so they can make some money.
It's called a win-win.
Yes, and that's what you. And I have to say, my husband taught me everything, and that's what he taught me.
And you it's good karma too.
Well, I kind of like. I'm a little bit calm.
I like that
thing.
karma style.
Yeah, I like that karma thing. I always
I
get
like that
nervous in
karma
case
thing.
I do something wrong, and I think, no, we can't do that because karma's going to take me over, and I'm not. I want it to be straight. And I was talking about Sid with that this morning on the phone, and I said, I have to tell the truth about everything because that's just how I am. So back to real estate. How is it going in Vegas?
Well, it depends upon where you're at in the market. Anything under 300,000 right now is considered a seller's market, and if you've been on the market more than 10 to 20 days, you're overpriced.
Yes, that always
Because
tells.
even in a seller's market, an overpriced house doesn't sell.
Yeah.
Anything above 300,000 is a little bit more inventory,
A little bit more work.
more inventory for the buyers to choose from. So it's a bit more buyer sided,
Yeah,
so that buyers
okay.
have a little bit more leverage.
And also to choose from.
Yes.
So how do you find your listings? Where do you get them from? Because I was driving around, I was a little early for something, and I was driving around a part of Vegas up on the 15 and what can I say, 15 and maybe Flamingo, Tropicana, back that way.
Okay.
And I happened to be driving in the area, and there was a lot of dilapidated houses. They've got the cars in front of them where the wheels are all broken out and like people aren't living there. And I saw a lot of them.
Yeah, unfortunately, if the bank has okay, one of the major problems is we've got what we call the I call it the zombie inventory.
Yes.
Okay, so
well, there's
we've got-
definitely zombie.
Okay, and the reason is because the bankruptcy attorneys tell people to move out of their houses when they do that. But what they don't understand is that there's a difference between a dismissal, when you're completed the
procedure.
but then there's the last step. It's called closed. The count is closed. The bankruptcy is closed. When it closes, if the trustee has done nothing with the house, it reverts back to the owner.
To the owner.
And
Now,
guess
does
what they
the-
did? They just moved out of the property. Now they're responsible for the HOA,
Well, everything.
the taxes,
The electricity,
sewer,
everything they're responsible for.
Yeah.
So they just let it go.
because they didn't know any better.
So how do we, if I see all these houses, how would I get in touch with anybody? Does I get in touch with the city or the...
Basically, what I do is, because I used to work in title, you get me the information, I go look it up and find out where it's at.
Yes.
And then I see if I can find the owner. If I can't find the owner, then I look to see what's been happening on the recording.
yeah.
So is there an NOD? Is an HOA lien? Is there a sewer lien?
Well, I'm sure there's many liens on the house. I'm
Right.
quite sure of that. But I think the greatest mistake, this is for two different... Never to move out of your home is number one. You can also... because once you move out of your home, in a divorce, the woman should never move out of the house.
And that's a whole different story today.
Yeah, that's a whole different... Because unless she can't afford the bills or everything, but once
Yeah.
you move out of the house, you've lost kind of everything.
You've lost your leverage.
You've lost your leverage as of, you've got to stay in the home. So that's just for the divorcees out there, whatever
But for
they're
the
going
people who are
through.
going through bankruptcy, what's real important to know that
Yes.
sometimes attorneys don't understand the laws. Just because they went to school for 4 years,
Well, don't forget
They
all
don't know
attorneys
that.
are practicing. Like a doctor is a practicing doctor, a lawyer is always practicing. Always remember those words, practicing.
and what is their practice?
What-
What
yeah.
do they specialize in?
Yeah.
They
Well,
don't
they're still-
specialize in real
They're still
estate, they specialize in
they're
bankruptcy.
still practicing, though. Even if they know real estate, they're still practicing it. They don't really know exactly what the outcome's going to be or what it is.
Right, but sometimes they advise their clients wrong. By telling them to
Really?
move out of the house, and that's where
Yeah,
we get
should-
the zombie
yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
Now, there's other times when people just move out because they think the bank's going to take the house.
Yes, well, they won't, because they can't. They don't do
The
that.
banks do now. They
They do
can.
now?
They're allowed. There's a new law on the books that if
Uh-oh.
the houses can be proven that it's been abandoned, the bank can actually
Come in.
escalate the foreclosure.
Well, if it's abandoned, there's nobody living there. Yeah, of
Obviously,
course they can.
you
Yeah,
can tell by no
absolutely.
utilities
Yeah,
that grass
yeah,
is
yeah.
you know,
The grass is
wet.
going.
and
Just
needs
well,
all that.
that's what I was just driving by. So, how is the industry now? Are we up? Are we down? Are we in the middle? Where are we?
It's a mixed bag.
Sounds like.
No, I don't sound like a politician, really, but that's exactly what I just said. The reason is because every neighborhood's different.
Yes.
Okay, so like for example, I had a house in Sun City.
Okay.
The inventory is high in there. Why? Because you already locked everybody out that's younger than 55.
Yeah, I don't know about this 55 bit.
Yeah, but it's 55 and older.
Yes, I know, but
I've got 19.
who wants to live in a 55-year and older?
Oh, you know, my parents live there, and we love it.
They love it.
Yeah, they do, because at 4th of July, there's no noise.
Oh, okay.
You can sleep through the night.
See, I like noise. I like stuff. I like family action.
It depends upon what you're looking for.
It depends on the personality and what
Exactly.
you absolutely like. What about commercial real estate? Do you ever do anything in that way?
I actually have an agent in my office that handles that, so no, I don't. I'm kind of the legs. I go show it.
I'm
but
very
I don't write it.
commercial. Very commercial.
Yeah, I have an agent who handles all
I
that.
might even get in touch because I was looking at stuff in. Yeah, I like stuff. I'm looking for stuff in Vegas, commercial though. I'm not a bit of a. Though I think there's more money made actually in Vegas with the houses than there is with the commercial, because it's a different place here. Don't forget, the average person stays in Vegas 2 years and maybe longer now. But that's Vegas.
I'm not going to be your average. I'm 17 years. 18 years.
Vegas is a very transit city.
Yeah,
you know, it's a very transit city, so people come and people go because you've got this. This is a service town.
Yep.
With a lot of the people, it's a circus. They all work in the hotels, and But now it's changed a little on that, I think, hasn't it?
Well, I've been here 17 years myself.
Okay.
So I guess I'm a long timer.
You are longer than me.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I haven't been here that long.
So, but here's something that I thought you'd find interesting, especially since our last guest.
Who's interviewing who?
We always like to know people's backstories, right?
Yes.
I grew up in 15 different foster homes. Now, would you believe that?
See, you never know.
You just never know, right?
So you were interested with the gentleman, Lee, I just had on then?
Probably.
Yeah, because he was on the streets and...
I was lucky. I never got to that point. I actually aged out in the foster care system. And my last family, their last name was Foster.
Really? And the funny thing is that, were you 18 then?
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason that you're dismissed at 18 is because they can't get any money from the government or anywhere to actually pay for them after 18.
Yeah.
So that's why you get so many 18-year-olds and older on the streets.
That's right.
And that's the reason being because nobody wants them anymore because they can't get them.
But I was lucky. The family that I was with actually kept me. Yeah.
Well, because they liked you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had fun.
You had fun.
Yeah.
But the foster business, I know all about that because I had a TV show called Voices of Tomorrow. And I used to go to a lot of these foster homes and a lot of these people. And I knew all these. That's why when I was talking about Compton, I went into Compton. I went everywhere. I was all over the place. And then I ended up going into the juvenile halls. Mm-hmm. And that was a story.
I never had to go there, so I'm so glad. I was very fortunate.
That's a story in itself. Mm-hmm. So were you a good girl growing up, or did you get up to
most
things?
Most of the time. Oh, okay. So I decided to run away.
Oh, goodness.
And I ran away to Alaska and discovered, get this, that I was my own problem. I had the same problems that I had down where I was I ran away from.
And they moved with you to Alaska.
Oh yeah, they followed me. I just didn't realize it till a couple of years later. But yeah, all of a sudden when I look around one day and go, let's see, the faces have changed, the place changed. Oh, what's the only thing that didn't change?
Me.
So I had to make a change.
So what made you change? Understanding.
That was the discovery.
That was the understanding of who you were.
I was busy blaming everybody else.
I think that's what a lot of people do. They blame everybody else, and that's really, that's the easy way out. But let me tell you something. Nothing happens without you. So I don't have a show without my producer, without you sitting here, without this lovely lady in front of me that brings all my coffee and my tea and my French fries and all that stuff. She's fabulous. And so nothing happens without you, but at the same time, nothing happens unless you create it. And whatever happens within your life is through you.
I believe that.
Yeah. Because if you weren't here, it wouldn't happen.
But I think that it makes a really big impact on people when they realize where you've been.
Yes, it does. I mean, I left home when I was 16, so I have a long, long story. I have many stories. And I never went to school. I never went to school a day of
I did
my
manage
life.
to graduate with a 2.72.
I didn't get the opportunity to even go to school to graduate, so I never knew. The first time I went into a school was when I was with my husband. and I was taking my stepdaughter Timmy. I was introducing her to the school in the area, and it was the first time. And I'm not going to say how old I was then, because it doesn't
Might give
matter.
it away now.
It doesn't matter. But that was the first time I stepped into school, and I had no idea what I was doing, but I pretended I knew everything that was going on.
And that's all you have to do.
And that, yeah,
Most people don't know any different.
Well, that's just saying to somebody when they have a band and they make a mistake on the music. Well,
I
they're
know.
the only ones that know the mistake. The
That's
audience
right.
don't know.
That's exactly right.
So, what mistakes have you made?
Oh,
None.
Plenty. But
We all
I
have.
look at all of them though as what can I say? Is it a glass that's half full or half empty?
Half full.
No, I just drink it.
I love it. See her attitude; she's absolutely great.
There
Where
will be nothing left.
Where can anybody reach you to get involved?
Okay,
with
well, we can
real estate?
find me on ForbesRealtyGroup.com.
Okay.
I'm on Facebook with Forbes Realty.
Okay.
I'm on YouTube with Forbes Realty. I'm on Instagram with Forbes Realty NV. And Twitter with Forbes Realty NV.
I can just say one thing. Don't forget the word Forbes Realty.
Realty Group.
Realty Group. That's all you have to remember.
And if you
Forbes
can
Realty
find that
Group.
on the internet, you're going to find me.
Absolutely.
And I'm Lynaae Forbes with Forbes Realty Group and hanging with the Forbes.
She's amazing. Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming
It's
on
been
the
a
show.
pleasure.
Yeah, it's been wonderful. I love it because we talk the same language. We'll be right back. Vegas Live with Ninon.